So I'd like to introduce you to hrabbit27. Brand new account. He actually doesn't have any premiums purchased on this account. It's basically like a brand new running account. He's just starting stock. And you can see, even with cheats, he's pretty terrible because you'll see later in the video, he does the thing of, oh, I'll shoot at a tree line with heat, because he's using heat, and, you know, shoot a tree or a bush that catches the entire thing. I am going to keep these videos short again. Like I said this earlier this week, I'm starting a new job, so I'm not able to stay up as late as I usually do. And right now it's like 10:30, and normally I go to bed around 11-ish o'clock, and I'm trying to get a video at least ready to go for tomorrow. And I'm pretty much only able to do like one video at a time right now, which granted is fine by me. So the other day I asked people to, hey, throw me some questions if you wanted me to talk about it, and I'm gonna go through these. I'm not gonna go through them all at once, obviously, but I'm gonna do right now I'm gonna do like 2 at a time. And if you have any other questions, either silly questions or serious questions in the game, go ahead and ask them. I'll pretty much just answer my opinion as much as I can. And yeah, like I said, if you have anything you want to mention to me, I have, like I've said before, about 5,000 hours in this game, so I kind of have a general idea of how to play. So I'm going to answer 3. I'm going to answer 1 silly one and 2 serious ones, just based on the comment section. I'll go with silly first. Someone asked me, what's my favorite mixed drink? I don't really have a favorite. I will say I'm kind of a big fan of bourbon, specifically. I can't remember the name of the alcohol off the top of my head, but there's 2 mixed drinks I would recommend anyone try, if you're 21, obviously, or wherever your drinking age is in your country. Old fashions are very good, and then there's also something called a paper airplane, which is also good. But also, if you want something more simple, there's a Moscow Mule, which is like vodka and like kind of a spritzer sort of thing, but it's very simple. It's pretty easy and nice. Yeah, I won't go into specific details because everyone kind of likes alcohol their own way, and you know, some people don't drink alcohol. So, the 2 questions I'm going to bring up that are more serious ones is, what is your TNT20 asks, what is your opinion on the new APHE for Russian Yak 9Ks at 4.3 for ground RB? Kind of unneeded. I, for the event, have been playing a lot of 4.7 Russia, and I own the Tizma and the Yak 9K, obviously, and they are busted. Like, straight up broken. Like, there is really no reason why they should have had them. I already used the AP on the Tizma and the Yak 9K already, and obviously the AP would not one-shot entire vehicles. But this is also the same problem you have with like APDS, small caliber APDS and small caliber rounds doing like tons of shrapnel damage. I don't know how a tiny APHE round would nuke an entire crew from the roof. And this is also runs along the same lines of Gaijin saying that they would tweak APHE cones in the last major patch, and then they never did it. Once again, another quality of life thing that they said they would do, and then they ended up not doing it in the first place. Yeah, the thing is, 4.7, 4.3 is kind of their wheelhouse. Yak 9Ks don't really deserve to go up any higher. The Tizma, at least in ground RBs, could respectively probably go up to 5.0, but it's much less maneuverable than the Yak 9K, so the Yak 9K for ground RB might go up to 4.7. It's kind of a hit or miss thing, and like they might have to tweak the APHE or limit the amount of APHE in the belt, or you know, whatever. Who knows what they'll do with it. Lastly, Spearhead mentioned, he goes, oh boy, you think the Silver Lion nerf is going to be bad? Wait until you see that China is going to have access to the Philippines tech tree that's coming soon. Yeah, China is going to have pretty much F-15s, Apaches, helicopters, American weapons, everything. Countries are going to be a new subtree under China. Meanwhile, America's getting South Korea, supposedly from the leaks, but I guess the leaks are coming from a guy who is very accurate, and I don't know. I'm just relaying what I heard. So the leak list you're seeing is actually a guy that is basically in Gaijin's Discord. So I have talked to a couple people that are in said Discord. Those leaks are almost entirely accurate. There obviously is a subject to change line on that, as with all leak lists are. So everything is subject to change. We don't know what they're going to be. BRs are going to be. Also, I know this is not meant to be a political game. Gaijin always says, oh, there's nothing political, whatever. Yeah, we see racist names in game all the time. We see political names in game. We still have a 10-second chat ban from the whole Ukraine war thing and people spouting crap in chat. And Gaijin is going to be adding countries, so subtrees countries, to nations that have, like, hated relationships with each other. Like, you would never add Taiwan to China, because if you know what's going on in the political world right now, China doesn't really like Taiwan and vice versa. So in a political scope, why would they add it to the video game when you have a player base that is playing from these nations, and you're going to entirely piss off entire levels of communities because you don't know how political climates work? How I would implement it would be, so we have 10 nations in the country, or I'm sorry, we have 10 nations in the game right now. I would just do, like, okay, so let's do European nations. They'll just do a chunk for European nations, and then they'll do Asian nations. That would be the easiest way to block out countries that may have political unrest within trees, because you could essentially get away with some of that. However, there's still political unrest with certain nations within those same scopes. But they'll never have a Ukraine tech tree under Russia. That makes no sense. Having a European tree for just small European nations that don't have the right to have a full tree, kind of like how Turkey is the same way. Like, there's a lot of small nations that don't deserve their full trees. I don't even think Israel needed their whole tree because it's all copy-paste stuff, but I digress. In reality, they could make it work, but in reality, they would need to do, like I said, probably sort of European or Asian sub-trees or their own trees themselves to make it work. I don't think they would be able to sort of negotiate that otherwise without it being like some sort of valid reason to bring it forward in that regard. The SL nerf already got denied by one of the main devs, and the reason why they probably had to deny that was because of the entire uproar that came apart of the community, and because Gaijin actually knows how bad the review bomb basically screwed with their whole metrics. So I kind of wish people would do more with that, but Gaijin has been saying they want to increase ammo costs again, which already pisses a lot of people off, and it pissed a lot of people off with autocannon vehicles, because autocannons were charged like per shell, which was insanity, especially for like CV90s. So there was a whole big metric about how stupid that was. If Gaijin does reduce SL, like realistically, a lot of people would quit, because Gaijin's costs for SL are just not viable from a real standpoint. The only way I could see them doing it potentially is kind of like how like World of Warships and World of Tanks does it, where tier, according to at least in their realm, it's tier 9 and tier 10 is like extremely expensive. So they might make it to where like, you know, high BR vehicles are extremely expensive to play, or you're essentially make no money or break even on them, which would be like, hey, you get 1 kill, well, guess what, you might only get like 20,000 SL at most, whereas some of the ARB games you see people play, they get like, you know, 40, 50, 60, 100k, depending on, you know, how well they do and if they have a premium multiplier. So it's going to encourage people to play premiums and buy premium, otherwise they get shafted on their earnings. So I'm going to leave this here. I could probably go into a lot more detail on how I think the new patch is going to be, but I'm going to keep kind of rolling with my current rhythm right now. Like I said, if you have any more questions, leave them in my comments. I'm going to respond to as many as I can, with keeping in the window of these video lengths. And as always, if you're a person in question you want to leave to me, please try to follow the pinned format below. And as always, I hope you have a good rest of your morning, day, evening, or night. And have a good one.